Good evening, everyone. This is a live with Darla, and it's called What's Darla Been Up To? And I'm kind of close to the camera tonight. I was trying to concentrate on the background so that you guys would have a better view of a background view, okay? Not be so distracted. Anyway, welcome. I feel and I hope that if you are a farm girl, if you love living on the farm, or if rural life is your gig, you're going to really like this stamp set tonight that I'm going to be showing. It's called the Tractor and Company Bundle. And I have just recently started playing with it. I'm trying to look at I have my computer now off to my right. So I can see what you guys are seeing without me turning around and looking at what you guys are seeing. So yay. So every week I get a little bit better doing this, get a little bit more polished, and it's fun. I have really enjoyed giving these lives, and I hope you guys enjoy watching them. I want to thank you in advance for your time, and if you feel like you need to place an order with me on my online store, that would be absolutely fantastic. So, like I said, tonight we're going to be doing the Tractor and Company Bundle, which is a stamp set and then some die cuts. And that is valued at $53. So the code for that is 166116. But what I would highly recommend you to do is go to my Tweet Be Happy Facebook page, and on there you'll see links to my online store, links to my blog, links to my YouTube channel, and you can go to my online store. And what I'd like you to do is go down on the menu and push what's new. Right now we have a lot going on, and I could give you links like to the new mini catalog, to the new online exclusives, and to the new kits. But it's much easier for you guys just to select the what's new category, and all of that stuff will come up. So good evening, Margaret. Thank you for joining me tonight. You're making my night complete. I was telling them about all of our new products right now that went live September 3rd, and to go on to my online store. And when you go there, I don't necessarily want you to always make a purchase. I want you to go there, spend some time looking around and seeing what's available. Keep in mind that now tonight, if you decide you want to do this Tractor and Company, you can purchase just the stamp set alone. You don't have to purchase the dies. But obviously, I believe you're going to want the dies, so you're going to want to purchase the bundle and save 10%. So let's go ahead and get started. I am going to turn my camera around here and show you my lovely set of colors here. What do you think? And then I am going to lift my phone up, my stand up, to show my my work surface. And this is always a little tricky, but I think we got it there. I better tighten it because I noticed the last time I did this, it kind of started to fall down. So anyway, what do you think of this ring light? This is a light that actually attaches to my phone, so that I have better lighting for you guys. This is the stamp set we're doing tonight, Tractor and Company. And like I said, it comes with all of these dies. I do have some of these dies already put into a metal bowl here. And look at, you can't lose your dies because they're in this metal bowl. So let's go ahead and get started with the first card tonight. I'm gonna try and be a little speedier, maybe just to keep you maybe a half an hour. I don't want to keep you that long because I know you guys have a lot to do yet tonight, don't you, Margaret? After you've been working all day, you're ready to go do some fun stuff. So so this is the card that we're gonna make. So I'm gonna put this up here just so that I can remember what we're working on. So the first thing we're gonna do is, this cardstock is called Pumpkin Pie. That's the color of it. And what you're going to need is, you're going to need a second layer that is 3 3/4 inches by 4 1/4 inches. And how we're going to begin this is, we are going to do a little bit of sponging. I personally, I love to sponge. What we're going to do is we are going to color or sponge color on with a sponge brush. And how you do that is you rub the sponge brush into the ink pad and then kind of dab it off on a scratch piece of paper and then apply the color to the white cardstock. So it's going to look like a field, a cornfield. So of course, we're outside, so we need to have a blue sky. So that color that I used was Daffodil Delight. The next color I'm using now is Balmy Blue. And you can, these are like, they aren't makeup brushes, but they're kind of like a makeup brush that you would put your blush on with. They're brushes that Stampin' Up! Does sell. So again, take off the dark spot of the blue, because you don't want a dark circle when you start applying this. So let's put some more ink on here. See how that kind of just makes a dark? We don't want that. So you just go ahead, and you can make this as dark as you like. This is a nice day in Iowa, so we're just going to have it be a pretty balmy blue sky. So the next thing we're going to want to do is stamp our corn in the field. So in this Tractor and Company, there's a stamp that's the corn stalks, and then there's a stamp for the actual ears of corn. Isn't that cute? Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, right now, our corn is starting to turn here in Iowa. I know those of us that live here and look at the corn, we know it's turning, it's getting close to harvest time. So I'm trying to decide, I'm going to stick with my same plan of action that I had planned to do. I'm going to take the garden green ink, and because the corn is starting to lose its green, I am going to stamp off onto my scratch paper and then stamp onto the field of corn. So that way I get a lighter shade of green, and that's more like how I feel our corn is right now this time of year. I could, and I'm real tempted to do it, but I would like to like take a light brown ink or something like that. I could even, okay, I want to try this. I could even take this Daffodil Delight is probably a little too yellow. What other shade could I take? I'm going to try Pecan Pie. Now, keep in mind, I'm doing this live on the camera, So that's always kind of scary because you never know for sure how it's going to turn out. But since I have so many people watching me, I know it'll be great. So I've stamped off the pecan pie, and I'm going to try and pretty much stamp right over where I was at before. I didn't do a very good job. You can see it looks like double corns. So let me, I don't recommend doing it this way. You know, trying to re-stamp this. Oh, now look at there. That's not too bad, is it, you guys? So, the corn is actually not as green as that still. But it'll be okay. It'll be okay. Like I tell the grand boys, it's okay. You know, it's your masterpiece and you're working at it. Now let's look for the little ears of corn. Look at this. Aren't they darling? Now, those of you that maybe don't notice, but I want you to notice, is actually in this stamp set, they wanted us to put the corn like right at the top of the stalks. The corn isn't at the top of the stalks. The corn is like, you know, halfway down, maybe even further down on the corn stalks. And right now, as the corn is drying, they are hanging down. But for purposes of making this card beautiful, I am going to go ahead and stamp the corn at the top up there, with the understanding that you guys realize now the corn is starting to hang down on the stalks. When it is totally hanging down and the husks are almost translucent, that's the time that the farmers will start combining it. Okay, let's continue on here. I have now, so I've stamped the sky, or I brushed the sky, I brushed the dirt or the field, and I've stamped the corn. What we need to do now is, I have in advance, to save time, I have stamped the tractor and the wheels, and look at this little seat, okay? So what I'm going to do is, I don't mind fussy cutting. The dies that come with this tractor set, we're going to use on the next card. But when you use the dies, you actually are cutting out the tractor by itself, and the tires by itself, and the seat. So I have stamped it all together, so it's easier for me to fussy cut like this to show you how you could fussy cut it if you did not have a Stampin' emboss machine. In order to use the dies, you do need to have either the mini or the regular Stampin' cut and emboss machine. Now that is something that I highly encourage you guys. Like for example, if you were to order this little Tractor and Company set, you would get what we call a reward. You would earn $5.30 because you get 10% of whatever your order is. You would earn $5.20 that would be put into your bank for a future purchase. And I highly recommend, you know, letting that bank just grow up, you know, mature, accumulate, and then you can purchase those big items. Or if you're someone like me, you don't want to wait to purchase them, so you go ahead and purchase them. The mini machine is $69, so you would earn another $6.90. Or the big machine is $140. And I do have both of the machines, and there are some dies that you cannot use on the mini one. So if you were to ask me what I recommended, I would say go for the bigger Stamp and Emboss machine. And if you want to see where that's located, if you have your annual catalog handy, it is on page 80 of the annual catalog. It comes with all the plates that you need. So everything is included with it when you order the machine. Okay, so that didn't take very long to fussy cut that, did it? I enjoy fussy cutting. When I fussy cut, I don't know, I probably should have explained it better, but when you're fussy cutting, you're holding your object straight and you move the scissors, you know, as you're, you are, let's see, I gotta say that right. I gotta be actually cutting something. You hold your scissors still and you move your sheet of paper because you want to leave just a little bit of white outline. Okay, so we have our John Deere tractor. As I was preparing for this live tonight, I was thinking I should probably ask, what color of tractor do you have on your farm? Or what color is your favorite, you know, kind of tractor? I know in our farm operation, we have green. We have some red, but we have green too. But I know I almost did a pink tractor, but I have some birthdays coming up and I thought I better do green, okay? So the next step we're going to want to do, when I first created this card, I did not do the ground down here. I highly recommend that you have earth underneath of your tractor and wagon. So let's go ahead and stamp that. I'm using, I think I used Early Espresso, but that might be kind of dark. Let's use Pecan Pie on this time. So I've reached back here, pulled out my Pecan Pie, and we're going to stamp the ground here. So you want to do 1, 2, 3, and you just go straight down and straight up. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to kind of stamp off on this one and make this one a little lighter. Yeah, I think I like that better. To me, that resembles, you know, pebbles in the earth. Maybe it resembles, you know, some of the product that's fallen off of the corn. And then what we're going to need to do is we need to take a marker and we need to just kind of lightly color it in, you know, to make it look, to ground it, okay? So that might be a little dark. Okay, now we're going to want to kind of dry fit our wagon and tractor. What do you guys think of this little tractor? Do you guys like it? I think it's so cute. So we need to have the tractor raised up off of our card. So you're going to want to put dimensionals on the tractor and the wagon, and I used like 3 on the tractor, and I'll use 3. Well, I guess I only could use 2. Now, this pumpkin here, who grows pumpkins? I don't grow pumpkins on my farm, but I sure enjoy going by pumpkin patches. So let's go ahead and take this off. Now, when I was stamping with my grandsons, they said, "Grandma, the tires have to be even on the dirt." So I stamped my corn a little bit lower, it looks like here. So that's okay. We're just gonna go like this. We're gonna color more of the ground here. I'm not sure. I wasn't paying attention, was I? But we gotta have some corn sticking up behind the wagon. So that's why we colored the ground there. You can't see my stamps. If that kind of bothers me, that I messed up like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just take some more of this and stamp this down here. Now, I know I did it the first time. I kind of lifted up these wheels and stamped underneath of there. Does that make sense? And then they're kind of bent, but you just kind of bend them back. Be the boss. Tell those wheels where you want them to be. Oh, I like that better. What do you guys think? Do you like that better too by putting those little stones in there? So, okay. So now we need to have our pumpkins be inside of our wagon, don't we? So you're going to want to take your silicone mat and you're going to want to put some adhesive on the back of the wagon. Something like that, okay? Now when you use the silicone pad, you can see where the adhesive didn't stick to it. So that's one advantage of using the adhesive pad. And then you just kind of take the pumpkins. I got some adhesive showing there. I got to get that off of there. It's like, if I don't take that off, then when I go to put the card in the envelope, you will not be able to get it out. Okay, so there we are. There's our little, pumpkins inside of the wagon. And there is a little bit of adhesive there. What you need to do is take your embossing powder, and that will make that not sticky anymore. Did you guys know that? Yeah. Okay. And if you have a lot of powder that comes out of that embossing buddy, just wipe it off, blow it off, okay? So that is our little wagon. What do you guys think? Do you like that? Oh, I think he's so cute. So so go ahead and take off the backings to the dimensionals. Trying to keep my work surface here as clean as possible, which sometimes is hard to do. Now, like I said, with my grandsons, you got to make sure that the tires are all level. Even though I want to put that wagon hooked up higher, it doesn't need to be. What's more important is the tires are level. So I don't know about every rural living person, but in our farm operation, our tractors are always waxed and they shine. So take your Wink of Stella pen and make the hardware shiny. Oh boy, this is a new Wink of Stella too. You know what? I was not thinking about what I was doing, and I kept pushing on the pen. See, I told you, when you go live, fun things like that happen. So if you are just joining me, this is Darla Tweeten, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Iowa. And I am coming live to you tonight demonstrating the Tractor and Company bundle. And I just opened up this Wink of Stella tonight. I've been using a couple of dry ones. So I kind of got a lot of excess Wink of Stella on my card. But it will dry. It won't be bad. Earlier tonight when I was using it, I actually, I don't know how I did it, but I ended up with some on my pants. So that'll be fun. That'll be a fun memory, won't it? That I have Wink of Stella on my blue pants. So now what we need to do, this is our card right here. So what I would like to do now is put a sentiment on there. And this one that I did earlier, I put happy birthday on there, and I put the banner underneath of the happy birthday. That's because I forgot to stamp the banner on the wagon before I put the dimensionals on. So after you put the dimensionals on the back of the wagon, it's bumpy, so you can't stamp the banner on it. So now what I'm gonna do, there in this tractor card, you could have thanks for pulling me through, season's greetings, because then you could use the Christmas tree. You could put thinking of you, it's your birthday, or hay. It's got a really cute hay bale in it. And I've already showed you the pumpkins. And the chicken, the rooster, is cute too. We're going to do that on the next card. So I think what I'm going to do on this card, I know I said I needed a couple of birthday cards, and I was doing it in green. But I have suddenly changed my mind. I'm able to do that. How about that? So what I'm going to do is I need a couple of sympathy cards. We've had some really unplanned deaths here in our community, and I'm needing to mail out some sympathy cards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the heartfelt prayers from the Peace on Earth stamp set, which is actually a Christmas stamp set, but it can be used all year long as far as I'm concerned, because it says heartfelt prayers with deepest sympathies plus big hugs for a good friend. So I like those. So let's go ahead and do heartfelt prayers up here in the sky. Hold the card for a little bit. The stamp onto the card so that it absorbs the inks. And there you go. There is our card. Trying to make my paper notes stick up there. Okay, so that part of our card is done. Now we are ready to adhere it to our pumpkin pie. And I chose pumpkin pie tonight because of the pumpkins were stamped in, the pumpkins were actually stamped in the new color Timid Tiger. But it goes real well with the pumpkin pie. So now what we need to do is pull out our silicone sheet, and we will need to, with our adhesive, our Seal Plus, go ahead. Oh, and you can see my Wink Stella isn't quite dry yet because it's leaving Wink Stella on my silicone pad. That's okay. That'll just wipe off though. So go ahead and put the card front on the card. Now, the card could be done right here, but what I like to do is I like to take a little bit of a blending brush, and I like to splatter. It just adds some personality to the card, makes it look dirty. You know what I mean? It's got little splatters on it. And to carry the theme, I will also do it on the inside of the card. So on this, the inside of this card said, wishing you love. It said, it's your birthday, wishing you love. And then I have pumpkins and a little rooster inside of there. On this card, though, I think we are going to do something different. Heartfelt prayers. And right now, I'm not really sure how I should stamp it, other than I do know that I want to carry out the fall theme. So I could either put the pumpkins in there, or I could put the corn. And I believe I'm going to stick with the pumpkins like I did in the other one, because the couple of families that I need to send these cards to, I think they would enjoy the pumpkins. And as a side note, when you're making these cards like this, if you have a special person in mind when you're creating the card, I think it just sends a lot more well wishes to them. So we need to decide what we're going to put on the inside of this card. Let's see, I did heartfelt prayers on the outside, and I'm going to put the wishing love, with wishing you love. I'm going to put that on here. And I'm trying to decide what color to do it in. I think I'm going to carry out the green, which is the garden green. The pumpkins are, you know, the timid tiger. And I'm going to do wishing you love. So I'm going to do it about right there. Okay? What do you think? So that wishing love came from the, where did that come from? Wishing love, where did that come from? I think it came from this one right here. I'm not sure where it came from because as you can see here, oh yes, it did. It came from Peace on Earth. What I did was I took this wishing you love. You could put sending love. I probably should have put that one on there. You could change those sentiments around. You don't even have to use the whole thing. So let's go ahead with our Seal Plus, and let's go ahead and put the inside into this card, and we have our first card done. So what do you think? Now, this can be all the way to the bottom, or it can be all the way to the top, wherever you would like it to be. So that is card number 1, a sympathy card. So let's go ahead and do our next card. Continuing on. And with this card, we are going to use the dies, like I promised you we would do. So the card that we're going to be creating is this card right here. And those of you that are watching with me, I did tell you to prepare a couple of items if you wanted to create along with me. It was called the casing number 529 card, and I had given you instructions to pull out a card base. So I've used Knight of Navy, and then the second layer will be 4 by 5/8 inch by 3 1/4 inches. So that's what this blue is back here. And that is from the Mediterranean Blooms. I really like that paper. It is on last chance right now. So it's normally $12.50 and you can get it for $11.25 right now. So it's number 163284, Mediterranean Blooms. And then another sheet of DSP in that same packet. You need to have 4 strips cut 1 inch by 3 1/2 inches. And then of course the sentiment that they used in this casing Tuesday number 529 was 2 3/4 inches by 1 3/4 inches. And what I did, instead of putting this white sentiment on my card, I did, the tractor and the wagon. So there again, you can do whatever you would like to do. So would you like to see how I created this card using the die cuts? Good. I'm glad you'd like to see it. So let's go ahead and get out our let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and do the inside first. I have a coordinating strip of the DSP that matches the front. So let's go ahead and adhere that onto the inside of our card. So you would need to go something like this. I'm going to get glitter all over everything, but there's nothing wrong with having glitter on stuff, is there? So then you would go ahead and put it like down the left-hand side, and then with the scissors, flip it over and cut it off. So, and it's gonna coordinate really nice with the front of your card. And I see here that I got a little bit of adhesive. I didn't fold it back like I should have done. So what we'll do is we'll take this embossing buddy, and what that does is it makes it so it's not sticky anymore. Isn't that nice? That's my best friend, you guys, besides all these other best friend tools I have. So let's go ahead and adhere this into the center of the card. I'm sure I stamped something on the inside. Heartfelt prayers, that's what I stamped on this one. Okay. So we'll have to take a chance. I highly recommend you not adhering the inside card piece to your card until you have stamped it, just in case you make a boo-boo. You could always turn it over and use the other side. But we will live riskily, or I will maybe not put anything on, you know, I won't stamp anything on there. Okay, so let's get to the fun part. Let's get to the part where we will be putting these, remember there was 4 strips of DSP that you needed to put on to this second layer. And I'm not sure what I did wrong. I did something wrong here because this one is longer than all of those, isn't it? So what I'm going to have to do is, I think it was supposed to be 3 1/4, and I bet I did 3 inches. Nope, 3 1/4. Oh, I took the long one, didn't I? Let me see what these short ones are. Oh heavens, just a minute here. Let's see what's going on here. Maybe it's just an illusion. Nope. There is one that's a little longer, like about 1/4 of an inch. So we're just going to trim it off real fast. This paper trimmer is a must too. If you get real serious about crafting, it is the best on the market, in my opinion. So let's go ahead and place these on our silicone sheet. And we've already done the dry fit. So what I would recommend doing is just flipping them all over. Now, remember, when you create like this, there's 2 sides to every paper. So, you know, you could use the same DSP and use the other sides, and your card will look totally different. So I wanted the blue to, you know, coordinate with the navy or Night of Navy card. And these are going to be a little bit shorter. You can see on this one they overhung a little bit, but nobody will know. I mean, yeah, you guys will know that are watching me. And then what you need to do is you need to do the other side so that you get even spacing. And then you need to put on your next one. And then you hope and pray that this one, and it does, yay, gosh. And again, I've gotten just a little bit of tape right there. So pull out the Stamp and Emboss Buddy and just gently pat that adhesive, and it takes the stickiness away. You can also do that on dimensionals. If you have a dimensional that, you know, you don't want to have it be sticking, you just want to have it be supporting, you can also do it that way. Okay, so here is our second layer. And let's go ahead and put dimensionals on the back of this. Now, I know some of you guys don't know how many dimensionals to use. I highly recommend to overuse dimensionals so that your product or your project stays level. Now, what I've also recently learned is you don't necessarily have to take the back off of all of these dimensionals to have them give the support that you want. So you just need to take off, you know, like I take off the corners and maybe the middle. Sometimes I don't take the middle off. It just depends what you feel like doing. Okay, so bring our Night and Navy card base back out here. And I do have this cutting mat that's got lines on it. And I can see through my silicone mat. So I try to start out with everything being straight. And if you lightly put it on and it's a little crooked, you can reposition it. But I think that looks good. Okay, now let's do the fun part that I know you guys have been waiting for. So I'm going to go ahead and put my card over here for right now. And what I'm going to do is tonight I'm going to be demonstrating the mini cut and emboss machine. And this is the mini that you can purchase for $69, and it comes with all of these plates. So what you're going to want to do is put on your, I have found that I get a better, I cut better if I die cut my, like my wagon first, and my tractor, and my wheels. If I do all of this die cutting before, see, it kind of moves around because they're magnetic. So if I do all of this, if I cut it on white and then stamp the individual pieces, I feel like I get along better, because I don't like it when I go to the work of stamping the green tractor and then my die will move on me, and then part of my green is missing, and then that's the little seat. So what you would do is you would run it through the machine, something like this. And since these pieces are smaller, the mini is working great on this. Now, I did see where one of my dies moved, and you can use some tape, and I probably should have did it since I was doing it live. But if you notice, my wagon turned out fine. One of my tires turned out fine, but for some reason the tractor jumped up on the tire, which is fine. You can just finish fussy cutting that out. So, and then here's the little seat right here. Okay, so through the power of TV, I have stamped, or I have die cut the majority of these pieces out already. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this little mini embossing machine back down out of the way, and it stores really nice. You just close it up like this, and then these little plates stand right beside it. So it doesn't take up a lot of room. I think I'll give Stampin' Up! Credit for that, that little machine, you can take it if you go to weekend crops or something like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and help cut this little tractor out. We are not going to use this tonight, this tractor. I wanted to show you how the die cuts did come out, okay? Through the power of TV, we do have all of the little pieces already cut. How am I doing on time? Oh, it's about 20 till. No matter how fast and how, organized you are, it still takes X amount of time. So here's the little tractor, here's the big wheel. Here's the little wheel, okay? Then here's the wagon. And the wagon, you're going to need 2 wheels for that. So there's that and there's that. So what we're going to do now is what I would rather do is stamp on these after you've die cut them out. Because like I said, I don't want to have them not die cut right. Oh, look at that. I positioned those about the right distance. So these are the tractor wheels. So I'm putting them into the Memento. This would be a great starter ink, the Tuxedo Black Memento. And then you just go straight down, hold it there for a little bit, and then release it. Okay. Now the tractor has 2 tires, doesn't it? So what you're going to do is you're going to only ink up the 1 tire and do those one at a time. And obviously the longer you hold it on there, I don't want that big tire to overstamp that, the better the impression is on the tire. So, okay. This is the banner that will go on the wagon. That is the rooster, and this is the seat. So, let's go ahead and clean off the tires with the chamois. I think I will do a black seat again, and this is the stamp for the black seat. So you would put that into your Memento ink, and then you would go down like that, and I usually count to 3, 1, 2, 3, and you can see it's not exactly perfect, but it's darn close. So now the next thing we need to do, I think oh boy, I'm sure glad I looked at my sample here because I forgot what I was doing for a minute. But this tractor is yellow, isn't it? To coordinate with the lemons in this DSP. I think a green one would work. And I do have a green one in here that I could use. But I think I'm going to go ahead and stick with the Daffodil Delight. Actually, what I'm going to use is, I'm going to use Daffodil Delight. So let's pull this out, put the Memento ink back in its place, grab the tractor stamp, which is this one right here, put it into and this pad is quite juicy. So then I'm going to move this down just a little bit further so that, oh, no, okay. I was thinking I missed a tire. So then we're going to want to go something like that. 1, 2, 3, and then pull it off. See? Isn't that cute? So we have a Minneapolis Moline, I guess. That's what we have a couple of Minneapolis Moline tractors too that are part of a collection of my husband because he grew up with that tractor, that brand of tractor, along with international tractors. Okay, so if we have a Minneapolis Moline tractor, we have to have a Minneapolis Moline wagon, don't we? So let's see what else. Oh, I know what I was going to do. I did need that black for just a minute because I wanted to do the banner on the wagon. And it looks like I just die cut one banner. So we'll have just one banner on this, this truck here. Let's see where the banner stamp. Here's the banner stamp. 1, 2, 3. And then you just go straight down on the little die cut. I find that much easier to do, to stamp them after you've done the die cuts. For those of you that, hi Peggy, thanks for watching. I'm not sure how long you've been on here, but thank you for joining us. We are using the Tractor and Company bundle. You're like me, we love the rural life, and so if farm living is the life for you, you'll love tonight's live, which is the Tractor and Company. I'm going to stamp this little rooster. We have neighbors right to the west of us that have the cutest, prettiest chickens. They're multicolored chickens, all different kinds. And this past weekend, when I was stamping with my boys, they remember all those multicolored chickens. And if you go back to the Tweet Be Happy page, you'll see where when they stamped this, they were really careful. They put the little head went red, and then they might have typed or stamped the rest of the body in brown or something like that. I was just amazed at how detailed they were. So let's go ahead now. These are all of our parts that we are going to put on to our card. And I did cut some yellow pumpkins. I'm not sure if I'm going to use those or not. So let's go ahead, and we will need to put dimensionals on the back of these tractors too. So let's go ahead and put dimensions on there. We will need to put dimensionals on the back of each tire. So there's 2 for the trailer, a small one for the tractor, and a large one. Then we will need to put also a wagon. We will put a couple of dimensionals on it. Okay. Let's see. I better put another one on there. I should maybe. We do have mini dimensionals, and I think, but with my big fingers, these mini dimensionals are kind of not easy to pull out the backings. But for the sake of doing a live really, really well, I better use them. So we have all of our parts on right now. We do have a little seat that we need to put on. And I'm going to try and use this steering wheel with, what do you call it? With, smokestack. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put just a little bit of adhesive on here. And one thing I learned this week is that if you let this sit for just a little bit, it kind of cures and it turns transparent and almost becomes like a sticker at that point. I did not know that. So I don't know if I'm gonna have them dry long enough to become a sticker, but we will sure give it a shot, won't we? So let's begin by putting, kind of got a mess here, don't I? We don't need those sponge brushes anymore, so we can push those out of our way. So let's go ahead and put, I always start out with the biggest part first, and I don't have to worry about the placement on this card as far as being above the corn or below the corn. So I'm going to put it about right there. Oh, I can see one thing already I forgot. On this card here, I put thinking of you. Well, I've already adhered the dimensionals, so I cannot do that now because it will not be straight and the stamp won't be, it won't all stamp because it's not on a straight surface. And I don't know what happened to this little mini thing. I must have peeled off the backing of the paper. I think I've left room for the tires. What do you guys think? You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and This is a take your pick tool. It is another great tool for people that do not have nails. It is really easy to take those backs off. Also, it helps you position different things. So let's go ahead and put the big tire like right about there. And then we will put a small tire about right there. What do you guys think? Isn't that just darling? So now before I push this down, I want to make sure that my tires are going to be level with this other tire. And I think I've done kind of a so-so job. Pretty good. Hopefully my grandsons approve of it, right? I think they're still watching me, so boys, how am I doing? Am I doing a great job? So there it is. There is our tractor that we put on this card. Now, I don't know, like I said earlier, all of our equipment is shined and waxed, and so I'm going to give this one some more Wink Stella, which is a glimmer pin. You could actually use glimmer paper if you wanted to, but I didn't, so we used this Wink Stella. But even our tires shine because they use, I don't know, something special on the rubber of the tires so that they sparkle. So we will do that. Better have the smokestack sparkle in the steering wheel. So, okay, I'm not sure what I'm going to do right now for a sentiment. I may just stamp like, oh, this thinking of you. Nope. I'm going to use, just a minute. There's a really neat one for, thanks for pulling me through. I think that would be a nice one to use for the inside of the card. And this is the, oh my, is this hard to read? It's your birthday. That's not the one I want. I want the one that says thinking of you. Here it is. Thinking of you. So what I would need to do now, since I forgot to do it on the tractor, which is really the best way. It's the cutest way to do it. What I would need to do is take a little scrap of white paper, and here's like I have lots of scraps. So after you trim, for different sizes of the card, you keep everything. So then I would just type. I would just stamp thinking of you like that onto the white cardstock. And then you would need to fussy cut this out. So you would just do something like this and then put this white back because you can use it for something else. You can also use your trimmer if you'd like. So then what you need to do is just really close to the letters, you would trim off the white. And actually, we may end up liking this better, you guys, doing it this way. It may show up better on the tractor and look more like the tractor. So let's go ahead and put some adhesive on the back of this. And there again, this white is thinner than my adhesive. So you've got to make sure that you fold it back. And I've caught it this time. I haven't always caught it tonight. That's why I had to use that embossing buddy. Okay? So there we are, thinking of you. So we could put that right here on the hood of the tractor. And so I'm trying to think about, I don't want it to go off of the tractor. So it would go something like that. Do you like that? Isn't that cute? So the reason we did a yellow tractor is because of the lemons in the paper, which is the Mediterranean blooms. So you could have done the green and it probably would have looked just as nice. So let's go ahead now and put on our little banner on our wagon. Go something like that. Remember, I told you that this would dry, and it is pretty dry. So this is a fancy little apparatus that makes this. Look at that. Isn't that detail just beautiful? I didn't put quite enough glue on there, so I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to put that down. But you guys get the general drift. And then here is the little seat on the tractor. So we'll put the seat on something like that. And then I'm not sure, I did 3 of the little roosters on that one, but I think I might just have 1 little rooster on this card, and she will sit right there. So what do you think? That's our second card. There's, you know, did it take more time to do the second card than the first card? I'm not sure, but it sure was fun doing those die cuts. And I did use the casing layout 529, I believe it is. I've got it somewhere here on my notes. I do know that it's back here. Yep, it is 529, Casing Tuesday. That's a Facebook group that you can join. A couple of demonstrators oversee that website, and they are on 529 examples of, and they give you dimensions and everything, which is nice. Okay, so that is our card number 2. This is our card number 3. Excuse me, our first card that we did. Our first card we did. Our second card we did tonight. And then I wanted to show you that earlier today, when that Casing Tuesday came out, I did do this card, which is done on Coastal Cabana. And I used my favorite set of DSP. It's called Nest of Winter. And that is 164183. And inside I did the opposite, the back side, or side A. And then also what I did was I took some of the DSP and put that on the envelope label. And I will do that for these other cards too. So anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this live tonight. I hope that it has inspired you to try some stamping, or better yet, come to one of my classes. I have a class at Pushing Up Daisies on the 24th of September, which is a Wednesday night at 5 o'clock. So you could go to work and then come there and stamp for a couple of hours. Bring your beverage and bring your adhesive kit. We will be doing a card kit. And we are doing Brightest Blues, which is a sympathy card. I will also, my next live will be on September 24th. So I do have a special for you tonight. When you order this bundle before Monday, September 22nd, I will send you card kits to make these cards that we made tonight. So what I would do is I would send you a kit to make this heartfelt prayers, and then I would send you a kit to do the thinking of you card. But I am going to have to ask you what color tractor you want. Obviously I cannot, well, it doesn't really make a difference, I guess, because I can't do the stamping now that I think about it, but I can do the die cuts. And if you purchase the stamp set and the dies, you obviously can make your own decision on what color you would need. So this is Darla Tweeten, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Iowa. I am wishing you all a great second week in September, and I am asking for prayers for families that need prayer right now. we always can help others by praying for them. So God bless. See you soon, whether it be at a class or on my next live. Good night.